Here's the thing, I don't care how large of an audience someone has on YouTube. I don't care how young or old someone is. Granted, if they are young people make mistakes. Young people say the wrong things, they act the wrong way, they are immature, and they do things. Every single person, universally, around the world has done wrong things because they are young. They say stupid things, they do the wrong actions. Every single person. But in most cases, people who make mistakes when they're young learn from their mistakes. But what we're dealing with here is the new Justin Bieber. The person who apologizes for something and then continues to do something more deplorable than the previous act. How many times have we seen Justin Bieber apologize for the things that he has done? But then he does something worse. Why does he do something worse? I don't know, but in my personal opinion, it's probably to stay more relevant in the news because he's dying out. But ladies and gentlemen, my fellow reptiles, this video is not about Justin Bieber. This is about Justin Bieber's friend, since they're now actually legitimately friends after they have been hanging out together, known as Nash Grier. For those of you who don't know who this kid is, he is a quote-unquote Vine famous celebrity. More followers than Justin Bieber. Nash Grier is also the same kid who made the video What Guys Look For in Girls and was telling that girls, in order for him to date, need to have their arms shaved and so on and so forth. Several months ago, about 6 months ago, I made a video response to that. But this has been brought to my attention because I'm not going to sit back like I did last time and ignore something when he apologized for it. So about 5 or 6 months ago, some people went back on Nash Grier's Twitter and found out that he had some pretty homophobic things to say, such as gay rights, nah. Warning, retweet if you're against gay marriage. Now here's the thing, he was very, very young. I think he was like 12 years old when he tweeted those types of things, but nonetheless, he tweeted them. He said those things, and people went back in his history, found them, and started saying, Nash Grier's homophobic, blah, 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 blah. People asked me to make a video about it. I was like, I'm not going to because it was from 3 years ago, and I'm not interested in making a response to that. Again, it was 3 years ago. People change, people grow, and when people grow and people grow up, they learn from their mistakes. Well, however, Nash Grier has not learned a damn thing, because recently, he made a Vine on his Vine channel thingy-mabobber, whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm not into the Vine stuff. But he says this.
Testing for HIV?
It's not a gay thing.
Yes, it is! Bang!
What honestly surprises me about this whole thing is that 3 years ago, he said these tweets about not supporting gay marriage. He had a bunch of other tweets. Those were just two that I thought that I would show you. And when Nash Grier blew up, he made a Twitter post on his Twitter apologizing for what he said over 3 years ago. And I was like, that's cool. He apologized. Yay, he's learning from himself. He no longer believes those things that he used to believe 3 years ago. I mean, I used to be religious almost 4 years ago here on YouTube. You can go back and watch when I was religious, and I understand that people grow and people change, and that's great when they do. But in this particular case, he doesn't. You know, here's the thing, Nash. Your apologies mean jack shit. Your apologies are just like Justin Bieber when he apologizes for something that he does, which is deplorable, like peeing in a restaurant and making people who make low income clean up his own piss in a wash bucket. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm young, I make mistakes. Fuck you. You may be young and you may make mistakes, but these type of mistakes are a continuing action. It's something that keeps happening over and over and over again. So your apology about what you did 3 years ago means absolutely nothing now because you've made this new recent event, as in this year, of calling someone a fag. A fag. Do you have any idea how degrading that is for someone to call someone else a faggot? Simply because they're gay? Here's the thing about your new Vine though, Nash. I'm not offended by what you said. At all. But what you said was wrong, and here's why. One, it spreads misinformation, which is already a pretty big thing among the religious folks who actually believe that this is an issue, that AIDS and HIV is in fact a gay thing, and that HIV and that AIDS and sexual diseases was all started from people being gay. That's a myth, in case you didn't know. What deeply disturbs me, though, is that, one, you don't seem to care enough to not apply what you apologized for 6 months ago, and then you do something like this again, which shows that your words meant absolutely nothing, that you actually didn't mean what you said, said, because here you are again displaying how you think this is a laughing stock. And don't get me wrong, I know what subjective humor is, I know what humor is, but this isn't humor. You can look at his face when he does this. Look at his face when he screams fag. And after he screams that word, he looks into the camera like, yeah, I just called that asshole a fag because, you know, he's gay. This kid, Nash Grier, thinks that he's funny for this. But I don't think he understands what type of degrading words those are to actually say towards someone. To call someone a faggot simply because they're gay, as in that's some type of insult, which to many people who are in the LGBT community or who are lesbian, who are gay, who are struggling with their sexuality, are bullied with these type of words, or are told every day when they go to school that you're a fucking faggot because you're gay. Haha, they're the laughing stock in their schools. What you're doing here, Nash Grier, is you're contributing to already negative stereotypes and spreading misinformation by saying that HIV is a gay thing. Yes, it is. Fag. This type of behavior that you're spreading here is not only deplorable, unacceptable, but you are in the public eye of millions upon millions upon millions of young, very young, impressionable teenage girls. And you think that this type of behavior is perfectly fine. And how ironic that the moment people started giving you shit for this, you deleted the Vine instantly off your Vine. And you made a apology tweet like, I'm so sorry for the people that I offended. No, fuck you. You're not apologetic because you offended people. You don't give a shit about you offending people. And this isn't even about being offended, because I'm not offended by this. I'm not offended by you using the word fag. It is the misinformation and negative stereotype that you are putting and reinforcing on the LGBT community and people who are struggling with their sexuality. I don't give a rat's ass if you're 16 years old or 55 years old. You need to be held accountable for what you say, and people are going to call you out for what you say, especially when you have such a large audience of impressionable teenage girls who can easily be swooned by the words that you say. And here's the thing, Nash Grier, or anyone watching this video right now, if you have an audience on YouTube, this applies to me too. This applies to anyone who is a icon on YouTube or has a large audience. You need to be accountable for what you say, and what you say, if it's disgusting and wrong and bigoted and homophobic, people are going to call you out on that. This includes me. This includes anyone on the realm of YouTube or Vine or any sort of place on the interwebs. Degrading someone for their sexuality is unacceptable. And until you can actually hold yourself accountable, Nash Grier, for apologizing 3 years ago for the stances that you used to hold, now have been resurfaced to show that you really maybe probably do believe the things that you tweeted 3 years ago. That your tweets and that your apology was probably simply just to get the public off of your ass because you're in the public eye now. I apologize for anything negative I've said towards gays, and for that matter, anyone. I was young, ignorant, stupid, and in a bad place. You were young, ignorant, and stupid, and in a bad place. This was tweeted 2 days ago. So you're still young, you're still ignorant, and you're still stupid, and you must still be in a bad place, because this reinforces exactly what you did 3 years ago. Were you young, stupid, and ignorant 3 years ago when you tweeted out those things? Obviously, and you're obviously still the same thing right now, because you haven't learned a goddamn thing about the words that you say and how they affect people, especially when you have such a large audience. And this is what drives me so crazy about people like yourself, that you have millions of followers, things that you could be making videos to help people, but rather you sit in front of a fucking camera or Vine for 6 seconds, or on your YouTube videos, for example, and you stare into a camera for what? The video, I think, I saw it on Reddit, of you just staring in the camera for what, like 5 minutes long with all your group of little 15-year-old, 16-year-old buddies looking like this, and then you scream at the top of your lungs, high-pitched, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, I would jump at the opportunity to be able to reach millions of people, which I already have to an extent with my YouTube channel, but I mean audience-wise, to be able to make videos that actually are designed to help people on something, on some level, but no, rather than grow up and learn from your mistakes, you still sit and remain in your prepubescent teenage mind. And here's the best part about this whole entire situation. Nash Grier had a deal with MTV and DreamWorks, supposedly. And now, DreamWorks and MTV has to push him away and not deal with him and no longer be part of their brand their company because of the statements he has said. This is no different than someone on national television making homophobic remarks that get kicked off of the television program for life because it can't reflect negatively on the station itself. Nash, you have a lot of growing up to do. I do too. I'm 22, and I hope that I never stop learning and growing as an individual. But you need to start growing a lot faster than I did at 16 because you are in the public eye of millions and millions of people. And because of that, you could be using the influence you have to better the world in some way, rather than attempt to destroy it and spread stereotypes, negative stereotypes, of people who are gay. And I actually want to address you individually, Nash Grier, and say that HIV was in fact contracted through a heterosexual couple. HIV originated in West Africa through infected blood of apes. My suggestion to you, Nash Grier, is that you apply your apology to your life, rather than apologize and repeat the past. My name is Daniel Sulzbach, also known as Mr. Repzion here on YouTube. Thank you for watching this video, and peace the rep out.